It is back to school time. You got your supplies, you're getting your kids ready, and then you remember, oh, wait, it's also back to getting sick again because there's this major petri dish going on of all these kids together, especially if they're younger. Hey, I have my current go-to list of remedies for sicknesses so that your kids, if they even start to get a hint of sickness or are sick, you can treat them at home and hopefully have them feeling better in a short time. Hey friend, if the daily demands of life leave you exhausted and burnt out with no time for yourself, are you feeling alone in your relationship and hopeless of life ever changing? Hey, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Christina, married 18 years to my neurodiverse husband and mom of 3 neurodiverse kids. Welcome to the Neurodiverse Family Life Podcast, where we are reclaiming self-care for moms while still being a loving wife and mother. Get ready to begin your self-care journey. Grab your latte planner as you listen in and take small steps towards a healthier you. Hey friends, I am excited for the new changes that are happening for across most of the area. We're getting ready for school or homeschooling, home education, and with it comes new notebooks and pens and pencils and highlighters. I love all that. What I do not love is the petri dish that can happen sometimes, especially if your kids are in public school or when you or your spouse are at work and you guys are inside and there's less time being outdoors. The petri dish of being all together in a building, especially when it comes to the colder months. I have sensory-friendly remedies to share with you so that if you just even hear that people are getting sick at work or at school, or your kids are, this is what you can do. You have a battle plan. And I will continually update this as I find new remedies. But first, let's talk about the cough. The cough is the one that I think many moms like, oh my goodness, when you hear your child cough, and sometimes that cough can be brutal, but you know they've been sick for so long and like they've recovered and everything is fine, except for the cough. The cough keeps going. It will not let go. The first inkling that there is a cough starting for my kids, I immediately begin chasing them around the house, and it's actually quite funny now, but with elderberry syrup. I have homemade elderberries not homemade elderberries. That would be silly. I have a homemade elderberry syrup that I make up and elderberries that I buy. And that has been a go-to for me. I just keep the dried elderberries at home and I can make up a quick syrup within an hour, or if I needed to, a tea. But I have that on stock basically starting somewhere around mid-November, going all the way through to mid-February. I'm making that in fresh batches. But that is one of the things that I will use for cough and especially for stomach bugs. Norovirus, stomach flu, that's my go-to. Again, every child's different, but usually elderberry syrup can go really well for most kids with sensory challenges because there's a sweetness to it. It tastes, I don't know what fruit I could even compare it to. It almost reminds me of a cross between a couple different berries. But my kids have always enjoyed it, which really surprised me, especially when they were younger. But for cough, elderberry syrup is one of my number one. And I will put a link to the recipe that I use and the berries that I use. The next thing that I do for coughs is if their throat is sore, I am using the Beekeeper Naturals Propolis spray. It's made from bee propolis. I will use that if their throat is feeling sore, which often will happen. So even though technically is something different, but oftentimes a cough, because of the nasal drainage that's going for your child, which for many children, the nasal drainage can be a sensory frustration. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But having that throat spray, the Beekeeper's Propolis throat spray, again, I'll have links in the show notes. That one there has resolved so many of our throat problems. Okay, next, when it comes to being sick is the nose. The nose, oh my goodness. When the nose gets all red because they keep blowing their nose, they're trying to get the boogers to go away, the sickness to go away. I will use Badger Balm for sensitive dry skin to go underneath their nose and around their nose at home, especially at night. if they are doing lots of blowing of nose. And then by the next morning, hopefully it's doing better. My go-to when I has been for many years is using coconut oil, which sometimes it works great. It's affordable. I get cold press organic coconut oil. I'm using it for cooking, making popcorn and other stuff. And all I have to do is take a little bit and I put that on their face. But sometimes I want something that's a little bit thicker, and that's why I use the Badger Balm for sensitive dry skin. That has been a great way of making that little bit barrier and helping that skin to heal quicker. Now, also for the nose is that if they are not liking the nasal drainage that's going on, if they will allow it, I like Little Remedies saline mist. It's a little bottle and has a wider tip for the nasal spray, and that way you're not as concerned with them hurting themselves. But that is a great way, if they can spray it and they can handle it, that can clear out some of those nasal passages. Now, if they are able to handle more, my absolute favorite for sickness and preventing sickness is Beekeeper's Propolis nasal spray. So one's a throat spray for the throat, but the nasal spray, this is one I will use even if I just begin getting a little inkling that I'm getting sick, or if I just flew in an airplane and there was someone hacking away, losing their lung, the poor person, or if I can feel that my body is run down, I will use this Beekeeper's Propolis nasal spray, because oftentimes those germs will be in our nose. So that has amazingly helped me through many situations. So if your nose, we have those. Now, depending on your child, if they won't allow you to use a spray of any sort, my suggestion then is to go to plan B, which is a diffuser. And diffuser actually is going to be great for coughs and for the nose and for the throat all the way around. But a diffuser, which if you're not familiar with it, you put water in a reservoir, and within that reservoir, you put drops of essential oils in there. Big caveat, make sure the essential oil is appropriate and safe for children, because not all essential oils, such as clove, should be used around children. Cloves is one that I do not use around younger children. My two brands that I have gone to is Eden's Garden and Plant Therapy, because not that their other ones aren't good out there. I'm not throwing shade at any of the other brands. The only reason why is because of their third-party testing, and also because of how they do their testing, and also the evidence they've shown that it is safe for kids, like their dosages. That's really what I am looking for in any type of essential oil. Again, not saying anything bad about any other brands out there, but those two, Eden's Garden and Plant Therapy, have passed my concerns test. And I just recently used this. I'm looking at it right now. Sniffles and Sneezes from, let me think here. Actually, wait. I have used Sniffles and Sneezes often in diffuser when they already are sick. And that's from Eden's Garden. But yesterday I used Kid Safe. This is from Plant Therapy. Kid Safe Quiet Cough. Because my daughter was complaining about her chest and her nose. And I take some fractionated coconut oil. You can just take normal coconut oil that you cook with too. Fractionated coconut oil is what people use with essential oils if they're going to put it in a roller ball. But I will take an oil and then I will add like a drop of the quiet cough or whatever I'm using, and I rubbed it on her chest and I put a little bit underneath her nose by her upper lip, and it helped clear up her nose. So whether you do that method or use a diffuser, where it is diffused in the room, it's close enough to their bed, they can smell it. That really helps with the nasal passages, along with obviously a hot shower or hot tub, a hot soak in the tub can also help clear out their nasal passages. But I really do like the essential oils with either diffuser or with some fractionated coconut oil on their chest, because that is calming. And this is where I will say, moms, you will likely need to buy more than one type of oil because of your kid's sensory profile. One scent, a kid can be like, this is amazing, I love it. And the next kid will smell and be like, this smells like vomit. And that's okay. I mean, I laugh because how one essential oil can have two very drastic opinions. And so that's fine. I respect that whatever scent there. I found patchouli, Patchouli, Patchouli. That one I usually always avoid for kids because that is such a either you hate it or you love it type of scent. So I usually stay away from that one. But many of the ones for kids, they do have some great options that are safe for them. So I would suggest between those two brands, kind of look at some of the descriptions and what would work well. And so that is for the cough and for the throat and also for your nose. If you are wanting to go a little bit more like lower tech, like Christina, I don't want to invest a lot of money. My suggestion is to start with teas. And the best tea I found for kids is a lemon honey tea. This is as simple as having lemons in your fridge, and you take it and you cut one in half and you squeeze some of that with hot water. And then as the water cools down a bit, you add some raw honey and you mix it up. That can be one, very calming because they're smelling the lemon and it's warm. Oftentimes something warm on their throat can be helpful.
Hey, thank you for joining me today. I pray this episode gave you encouragement to take one small step. If so, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help other women find this show. By the way, if you're loving this conversation and want more encouragement like this, join my email list at bit.ly/myselfcare. That is bit.ly/myselfcare. I have a planner launching soon that will help you put all this into action in your own life. I look forward to chatting with you again next week for another episode.